What is up, guys? Welcome back to Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video for today. This one's going to be doing the worst to best episodes of The Walking Dead Season 7.
We've silenced the whispers.
Okay, guys, so this is going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today. This one we're going to be doing the worst to best episodes of The Walking Dead Season 7. So, this is one of the worst seasons The Walking Dead has ever done. I think we can all, admit to that. Season 7 is not the best season of The Walking Dead series. It just simply isn't. But this list was very, very interesting for me to make because, I find it very easy to pick out the worst episodes of this season. Easier maybe than to pick out, the actual episodes that are my favorite. This is a season of Walking Dead that is very easy to pick out what are my least favorite episodes, and unfortunately most of them are not that great episodes in my opinion, at least in season 7. So but yeah, so guys, if you guys want to leave your top 5 favorite episodes, top 5 least favorite episodes of season 7, definitely leave those down in the comment section below. But without further ado, let's jump into the list. Number 16 is going to be season 7 episode 6, Swear. So yes, this definitely has to be my least favorite. It just is not my favorite. It's a Tara Bottle episode with Oceanside, and honestly, I just don't think that Oceanside as a community really went well with the fans, and even me just as a fan overall. I don't really care to watch this episode again. I actually did go back and rewatch this episode a couple months back because we did a throwback review, but since then I haven't watched it almost any point in time. I always skip this episode just because I really don't like it that much, to be honest. Number 15 is going to be season 7 episode 12, Say Yes. Now, this episode is the Rick and Michonne episode, and I don't know why, it just has this really cheesy feel to it. The kind of lightness to it, it doesn't work for me. I don't know why. The CGI idea is an issue. The Rick fake out death does not work, and the Rosita finding the toy gun, it's just filler. It doesn't do anything for the story. I don't know. I really don't like, and Rosita in this episode is very frustrating as well. I have to also add that into it. So number 14 is going to be season 7 episode 3, The Cell. This episode is the torture episode. I like to call it the Daryl torture episode, and it's kind of a torture episode for the fans as well, especially fans of the Daryl character. And Dwight running after the Savior, I just really do not find to be that, interesting. It doesn't do anything for me right now, honestly, for Dwight's character. And we do get to see the Sanctuary, but it feels very restricted in this episode, We don't really see that much of the Sanctuary anyway. It kind of feels like episode 7 is really the main one where we really get to see the Sanctuary. This episode, it feels like a low-budget version of the first introduction for the Sanctuary. Like, we only see Dwight and a few Saviors here and there in the halls, but we barely see anything in this episode in terms of the actual Sanctuary location, and that was really disappointing in my opinion as well. So, yeah, but maybe that's just me. Number 13 is going to be Season 7, Episode 11, Hostiles and Calamities. This is the episode where Sherry runs away and Dwight kind of, runs after her and, he finds the note. We also have Eugene at the Sanctuary where he kind of becomes a savior. He's, I'm Negan, I'm Stone Cold Negan. I don't like this episode. I find this episode to be very frustrating for the Eugene character. And also, I don't know, I don't find this to be the most gripping episode. There's a lot of scenes where I kind of just zoned out. I was like, alright, like, whatever. Like, there's not many scenes that are like, I really like this. Like, so many of these episodes in Season 7, I could care less, honestly. And this was one of them, for sure, with Eugene at the Sanctuary. So, yeah. I don't know. Nothing about this episode really stood out to me, in my opinion. Coming in at number 12 is going to be Season 7, Episode 2, The Well. So, I don't really like this episode. I like it for, the introduction for Ezekiel. I think it's a decent episode. But at the same time, I really feel like they should have done more, Like, I feel like they really could have spiced this episode up a lot. Because, honestly, when I go back and watch this episode, there are portions of it I actually do like. I'll be honest. There are portions of it I really do like. But, it felt boring after a little while. Like, it didn't really have much life to it, And the Carol leaving thing is a big issue to me. And having an entire episode at the Kingdom when I would like to see how Maggie's doing, I would like to see how Rick and the others are doing, like spice it up. Like, honestly, I don't know. I don't care if it's a budget issue. You could work around that somehow. Like, honestly, I don't know. I really have a lot of issues with this episode. I do like, the introduction to Ezekiel's character, but it just didn't work well for me, to be honest. Now, but maybe that's just me. Number 11 is going to be Season 7, Episode 14, The Other Side. This is the episode where we get to see Rosita and Sasha go on that mission, which was reckless and stupid. I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't. And honestly, the stuff between the two of them, I thought was good. I like how Sasha kind of goes out as a hero. But at the same time, I don't know why. I just don't find her death that memorable and that, like, you know, amazing, when for a character like Sasha it should have been, in my opinion. So I don't know. And honestly, I think that Rosita in this episode really is another big issue. Her attitude is just, it really annoyed me in this one, as well as just kind of the idea of taking out Negan like that. It was reckless. It was reckless and stupid, and I'm not going to pretend like it's not. We also have Gregory and Simon, so we do have some scenes with them, which I have to say is probably some of my favorite stuff in the episode as usual. They take the doctor, and we have Daryl and Maggie, which that conversation I thought was really good in this episode as well. The I'm sorry part, I thought that was really good. And we also have Dwight that runs into Rosita. So it's a pretty good episode, but there's a lot of frustrating, you know, elements in that one as well. Number 10 is going to be Season 7, Episode 5, Go-Getters. Now, this episode, we have a lot of stuff going on in this one. We have, Maggie at the hilltop. We have Carl and Enid and their kind of roller skate, date, I guess. And then we also have, Simon and Gregory. We have the fire, of course, with the walkers coming in the middle of the night at Hilltop. Maggie with the tractor. And, we also have Jesus and Carl in the back of the truck at the end on their way to the sanctuary. So it's a pretty good episode. I do like this episode a lot. I actually do think people are a little too harsh on this episode. I think this episode's pretty good. But it's still, though, I would like to see more. I'd like to see more of these other groups, you know? I just hate how some of these episodes are so sectioned off, especially ones like this, you know? We should have seen more, is all I'm saying, in a lot of these episodes. But still a good episode. Go-Getters is going to take the number 10 spot for this one. Coming in at number 9 is going to be Episode 9, Season 7, Episode 9, Rockin' the Road. So, I really like seeing our characters together in this episode for the most part. I thought it was really cool. They go to the kingdom. Ezekiel says no. We also have the highway, which I thought was really cool with the cars. And we do also have the junkyard that shows up with Gabriel going missing. So it's a pretty good episode all around. I do like it quite a bit, but I definitely have my problems with this one too. But, I thought it was a really good mid-season premiere, So yeah, really like Rockin' the Road. I think there are some gripes with it, definitely with, Gabriel and the junkyard and just the junkyard group overall, but still a very enjoyable episode in my opinion. Coming in at number 8 is going to be Season 7, Episode 7, Sing Me a Song. So, this episode was a very, very interesting episode. We got to see, the sanctuary and a lot of kind of the stuff about it, the wives, the burning of the face with Mark. We got to see a lot of stuff like that with Negan and Carl, which I do think Chandler Riggs and Jeffrey D. Morgan did a great job in this episode as well. We do get to see Spencer and Gabriel go out there, of course, which I thought was also a really funny scene with them in the car. And we have a lot of scenes throughout that are pretty good. But and there is also Aaron and Rick out there with supplies, Michonne and stuff like that. But you guys understand how there's a lot of filler as well too. Like if you guys notice, like Michonne capturing the one savior girl, that doesn't really go anywhere. Rick and Aaron going to look for supplies doesn't really go anywhere. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know. What am I supposed to say about that? But the main thing that we saw in this episode, like I said, was the sanctuary itself and Negan and Carl and kind of the beginning of their kind of, actually the majority of it because Carl got killed in Season 8. So really this is the majority of the Negan and Carl stuff in this episode. But, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good episode all around. Like I said, again, with Season 7, though, I have my problems with it, but this was a pretty good episode all around. Yeah, definitely. So number 7 is going to be Season 7, Episode 15, Something They Need. Now, this episode, we got to see the group basically take the guns from Oceanside, as well as Sasha and Rapey Davey, of course. Negan takes out Rapey Davey. And we also have Dwight that shows up. So it's a very packed episode, definitely, and I do like it quite a bit. Number 6 is going to be Season 7, Episode 10, New Best Friends. Now, this episode, I don't like the junkyard. I want to specify that. I don't like the junkyard group, but I really like the story in this episode. The kingdom, basically Daryl and Richard and the scene between him and Carol, Daryl seeing Carol again, I thought was really good to see. And we got to see a lot of great stuff throughout, you know. We got to see, the Winslow fight with Rick and Winslow, of course, and he takes him out. But I do not like the Junkyard group as a whole. I will definitely admit to that. But I do like a lot of elements in this episode, specifically at the Kingdom and a little bit at the Junkyard, but not all of it, you know, because Jadis and them are just so friggin' weird. So, yeah, number 5 is going to be Season 7, Episode 8, The Heart Still Beating. So, number 5 for mid-season finale, it is pretty weak, I'll definitely say that, but it is stronger than I would say the mid-season finale of Season 5, if you saw that list, where it was like way down the list. This one is better than Coda, I would have to say. This one, we get to see our group kind of fight back. Daryl gets, you know, away. The Got No Guts scene, of course, and we have a lot of stuff throughout, but there are a lot of filler things in this episode as well, too. That's why I can't put it too high, either, because, you know, we have, you know, Aaron and Rick and them out there on the boat, which I thought was, you know, kind of filler in the end, I got to admit. We have, you know, some of the stuff going on with, you know, Rosita wanting to take Negan out with the one bullet she has, kind of filler as well, too, I got to admit, but as well as Richard going to see Carol with Morgan and asking them to fight, you know, a lot of this stuff, I don't know. It doesn't either doesn't go anywhere or it's filler. You know, that's my biggest problem with Season 7. But I really do like the ending when Rick kind of gets his gun back and Daryl gives him the gun back and they all walk to the Barrington house at the end. I thought that was a great ending for this episode. Yeah. So, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm saying, maybe you guys maybe think that I put this episode too high on the list. I could definitely understand that, but at the same time, it does have those aspects of it that I really do like. The Got No Guts stuff, the action throughout I thought was really good, but I can't put it too high than number 5 though, too, because there are some things that I think are a little filler in this episode. So yeah, but yeah, number 5, the mid-season finale, Heart Still Beating. Coming in at number 4 is going to be The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 4, Service. So this episode is the one where Negan, you know, visits Alexandria. We have the guns that go missing. We have Spencer. We also have kind of the really the first episode where we get to really enjoy Negan's character as a bit of a kind of, you know, funny character as well at the same time, which I thought was really a good touch. And we also have kind of the realization from Rick, you know, the kind of confirmation that Judith isn't mine and he knows it, that type of thing. And I thought this was a powerful episode. I mean, it was good. It was an hour long. It was a packed episode. And I think that this episode, honestly, is very underrated, if you ask me. Honestly, I think this episode had a lot to it, and I think that this episode, honestly, deserves more credit. Number 3 is going to be Season 7, Episode 13, speaking of credit, Bury Me Here. So, this episode also, I think this episode is absolutely outstanding, you know? It doesn't have many of our characters, many of our regular characters, I understand that, but honestly, it's such a good episode. I mean, honestly, Jared, yeah, sure, he's there, but it has so many good things about it. I mean, honestly, Benjamin's death and Richard's death, I thought both deaths were actually very good. And I really do like how, you know, Morgan's character kind of switches in this episode back to the clear mode version, and, you know, kind of ready and, you know, just in time for All Out War. And I thought it was a great episode. Honestly, I really do, as well as Ezekiel accepting the fight, Carol finding out about Glenn and Abraham. I mean, this episode was mind-blowing, honestly. If you look at it, they had a lot of things in this episode that were really good. Number 2 is going to be Season 7, Episode 16, The First Day of the Rest of Your Life. So, this episode we had, Sasha's death, the Junkyard switch, the Tiger coming in, the, you know, just the action and the beginning, in my personal opinion, one of the best episodes of the All Out War storyline, because this is really when it kicks off, you know? And it's just, it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. Honestly, anybody that does not like this episode, I can't understand why. Honestly, there are so many great things about it. Even Abraham returning for the Sasha flashbacks. I mean, honestly, so much happened in this episode. I absolutely loved it. And I do know that a lot of you guys say that it is your favorite season finale, and I would have to agree with that. I think the Season 7 finale is absolutely outstanding, honestly. I've watched it so many times because it's just so good. So, and number 1, I as much as maybe some people hate this episode, I get it, but you have to admit, they did a killer job on this episode. Number 1, Season 7, Episode 1, which is called The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. So, I mean, absolutely outstanding episode. I mean, honestly, the Glenn death, the Abraham death, maybe they shouldn't have killed two characters. I agree with that. But the way they did it, in my opinion, even if they killed two characters, the way it was done, I thought was absolutely amazing with the dinner scene with Rick and kind of him threatening Negan and the whole RV thing, bring me my axe. And just seeing Rick broken as a leader, you know, even having to, you know, maybe potentially chop off Carl's arm, which I thought was, you know, a really kind of scary thought there for a minute. And honestly, I just thought it was an incredible episode all the way around. Honestly, there is nothing wrong with this episode. Like I said, the only thing that maybe they could have fixed is maybe they shouldn't have killed two characters like that. You know, if you're going to kill Glenn, maybe keep Abraham at least, but I mean, I thought it was an incredible episode all the way through, and honestly, I'm still, you know, even just thinking about it now, I'm still speechless, you know, thinking about this episode. It was absolutely incredible, honestly, all the way through. So, anyway, guys, that is my list. What is your guys' list for the top, 16 worst to best episodes of The Walking Dead Season 7? Of course, Season 8 will be next. I'll be doing that very soon, and of course, I want to say a huge thank you for stopping by watching this video. If you guys are new here, click the subscribe button so you never miss any of my Walking Dead videos. Follow Dan's Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys, and of course, I'll see you guys really soon for another Walking Dead video. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.